Live. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back today for another session on a very important topic, implementing Google Workspace across your business. I personally love this topic. It's very incredible because it just shows us the little things like that we know we are doing normally, but that we don't actually know we are doing, right? So this is a very interesting and important topic that I'll be sharing with you guys this morning. And to begin the whole session, I'll start by introducing myself. So my name is Lorian Nisan, and I am from Cameroon, Africa in miniature. I hope you guys have heard about Cameroon. So this morning, it's quite a bright morning per se. How about you guys? Where are you from? Let me know who you are, where you're from. Let me know how the morning is there. Please let's discuss. I'll be with you guys in the chat section to actually see what is ongoing. So I said I'm Lorian, and I am in Cameroon currently. And it's not bad. The morning is not so bright and fair, but we're managing here. So please let me know who are those that are around, who are those in the chat, who are those in this morning. Please kindly introduce yourself, tell me where you're from. And to complete this information, I am definitely not alone on this call. I am with some of my two incredible colleagues, all right? Amarachi or Nora, that you're going to frequently see in the chat, and Judith, that you're going to see at the back end, okay? Oh, you're not going to see her, sorry, but she's at the back end. She's going to make sure that everything works smoothly, okay? So we're going to have an amazing 50 minutes of training. But then I'm not yet seeing many people telling me. I'm not yet seeing many people telling me who they are. Please, who is in the chat? Who is around? Okay, let me even read those that were here this morning. I see Maimuna Kaur was here this morning. Corsa, Kerry was here this morning earlier. Tapiwa Ann was here this morning. Good morning, Tapiwa. Good morning, Lizzie. Good morning, Linda. Welcome. Good morning, Fola. Welcome. All right. Good morning, Dolly, and welcome. So, hi, Nono. I think you've been on this call before, so I'm really happy. Oh, sorry, Evelyn. I can imagine. Here the morning is not so bright and fair, but we're managing. So we are going to go right into the session. Like I told you guys, it's really interesting a session because, it's the little things that we do, all right? But we don't even see how much it's going to really help us in our activity. So I'm just going to highlight that this morning. And trust me, we have to make it interactive. It's not a one-person session. We are in this together, right? We have to contribute. So I'm really happy to have all of you guys this morning. So let's dive right into the topic. Today we are going to be having three major agendas. First of all, we will look at what Google Workspace is. It's important, right, to know what we call the Google Workspace. The second thing is we are going to look at how you can boost your communication across your business. And the third thing is how to leverage tools to increase collaboration. Like, what are those tools that you normally use to collaborate? Those are the other things that we are going to look at. So these are three agendas for today morning. Now, before we dive deeper, like you all already know, we have the Hustle Academy Bootcamp from Google. Please, if you have not yet signed up for this, it's really important you do so. Now, let me give you a personal experience to get. As a trainer, you currently do this, but every day I learn. Personally, I learn from the Hustle Academy Bootcamp. So one more of you. If you're owning a small business, all right, if you have a small business and you want it to scale, please make sure you signed up for this bootcamp. And Nora, our moderator who's in the chat, is going to drop this link. She's going to be the one to drop this link for the Hustle Academy Bootcamp, all right? So please make sure you sign up for the link. It's really going to be interesting. Now, let's dive deeper. I would like to know, what tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? What are the tools you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? Please let me know in the chat section, what are those tools that you use? It can go from anything, it can go from a WhatsApp, it can go from an email. Hey, I'm giving you 4 responses again. No, please just let me know. What tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? I am already reading. Google Docs. Wow, that's really great, Adenike. Nice. Google Docs. She uses Google Docs. This is true. While we work too, we use Google Docs a lot. Yeah, we use Google Docs a lot because it's easier. We work remotely for most of us. So, Zainab, have you heard now? I hope you can hear me clearly. Linda says Facebook and LinkedIn. This is nice. I mean, Linda, within your business, not without, like not you and other people within. Mariam. Okay, welcome, Mariam. Kerry says WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. Within your business, Kerry, not with your customers, like inside. Lizzie says WhatsApp. All right, thank you so much for the responses. Thank you so much for the shares. Exactly. Most of us use WhatsApp, most of us use social media to communicate. But I thought Google Docs, this is really good because if you need to share a document, right, you not necessarily have to go to mail. You just need to put it there in the Google Doc, and then the person is just simply going to comment on the document. So there are a lot of tools that we use. Okay. As a book publisher, I use Microsoft Markup tool. Okay, this is nice. Zainab says WhatsApp only, but I feel I'm not using it to full potential. Yeah, you think so? I think you are, but then I think that there are more other things that you can do, Zainab, honestly. So now let's look a bit. Now we're going to start by discovering, what Google Workspace is. Let's look at Google Workspace. I'm pretty sure if I ask anybody here, like, okay, what do you think? What's Google Workspace? And that's actually even the next question. Please, my question is not, do you currently use Google Workspace? So my question is, do you know, first of all, do you know what Google Workspace is? Because sometimes we hear about something, but then we don't even know the thing before even using it. Like, we don't even know it. Please, who here knows what Google Workspace is about before we get into currently using it and how? Let me look in the chat. Please, who knows what Google Workspace is? I'm already in the chat section and I'm not seeing responses yet. Oh, thank you, Maimuna. I see you read emails. This is really nice. Thanks to everybody that shared responses. Now, my next question is, who knows what Google Workspace is? And if you do, right, please just let me know in the chat section what you think is Google Workspace. Okay, Linda says no idea. Somebody else, please. Can anybody tell me what Google Workspace is about? I'm not seeing comments coming in. I think we agreed that this was going to be a communication, there's supposed to be return. I'm supposed to feel you guys, right? I'm supposed to make sure that we are in this together. I'm not here alone. Paula says she doesn't know what Google Workspace is about. Nice. Good morning, Paula. Happy to see you again. Who else knows? Ju, is that you? You said email, Google Sheets, Google Meet. Wow, Ju, good. Ju has an idea, right? And her idea is actually it. So Google Workspace is actually let's say the Google Suite, the embodiment of all the Google tools that we usually use on a daily, like Ju said, whether it's mail, whether it's Sheets, whether it's Docs, whether it's Meet. So all those different tools that are incorporated into the Google Sphere is what is known as the Google Workspace. Yeah. Jonas is powerful work tools use it to work in a place. Interesting. Exactly, Linda. So Google Workspace is all those tools that we, no, Zainab. It's those tools. Email, Docs, Google, yes, email, Docs, Meet, calendar is that embodiment, is that togetherness of all the Google tools put in place to make us, have our business run fluently and smoothly. So this is what we call Google Workspace. And please, we use it on a daily. I'm pretty sure at least everybody in the world has a Gmail account. I am pretty sure everybody in the world uses Google search. Like at this one time, everybody here has only touched on Google restaurants near me or something. You ask Google something. Even Google search is part of the workspace. So this is what we call Google Workspace. Ju, thanks so much for your comments. They are so interesting. And yes, that is it. So we are going to dive deeper into the workspace too. Like I said, Google Workspace, previously known as G Suite, is a collection of cloud computing, productivity. It's a collection of cloud computing, productivity, and collaboration tools, software, and products developed and marketed by Google. So this is what Google Workspace is about. And I wanted to ask, but then Drew has given too many answers in the chat things. If I ask again, like she's going to help, I know. So I'm not going to ask. Okay. Now, when we look at my screen, we see a couple of tools. There are so many. Maybe apart from Drew and Adenike, I'm not pretty sure that we can all list them. But to make things easier for all of us, I'm going to list all the tools. So the first icon, mail. But then if somebody wants to join me in the chat as I do so, I'll be very welcome. Yeah, I'll be very happy and the person is very welcome. So the first icon in the chat is mail. The second icon is calendar. The third icon is drive. The fourth icon is meet. The fifth icon is docs. The sixth sheet. The seventh slides. The eighth site, Google Sites. The ninth form. The 10th keep. The 11th, the Google Search Console. The 12th chat. And the 13th Jamboard. Let me see who went ahead with me. Okay, nobody did it together. I use first word only. Okay. Lizzie said drive. Yeah, Lizzie, you saw just drive, right? This is really nice. So I've listed all those tools, and I must say, from my little experience, that all of them are very interesting. One of the things that I recently got acquainted to is Google Sites. Like, it's so easy. I personally have a background in communications, yeah, but then having to know that I can easily, make up a website, not knowing tech is really nice. And that's what I like about Google Sites. Now, let's see how we can work with all these tools. First things first, what are the core functionalities of Google Workspace? One, you can create documents and presentations. Secondly, you can record, analyze, and present data. The third thing is you brainstorm ideas, manage products, and store files. And the fourth thing is you communicate globally. Now, let's try to look a bit deeper. When we're talking about creating documents and presentations, what are the tools? We obviously know we're talking about docs and slides, yeah? When we're talking about recording, analyzing, and presenting data, we have sheets, maybe drive, presenting data, and slides. When we're talking about brainstorming ideas, managing products, and storing files, we know it's drive, and then we know it's the meeting functionalities. Then we have the possibility to communicate globally. I'm not going to say the two here because everybody has an idea. Okay, now let's look deeper into what these tools are going to help us do. Now, let's start with docs and slides. So when we're talking about creating documents and presentations, those are the major tools that we use. We already know that Google Docs is there to actually help us create, documents. And the good thing is we can share these documents. And for presentations, we already know, right? We're talking about Google Slides because that's actually the tool that is specific about presentation. So let's move forward to record, analyze, and present data. So when we're talking about recording, analyzing, and presenting data, the major tools that we use here are forms and sheets. Mind you, I didn't even mention forms. But forms, yes, because forms permit us to actually have a variety of data from every other person. or from external sources. Better said so, right? Let's continue. So, what are the benefits brought about by the Google Workspace? First of all, there's increased collaboration. This is so true. On a normal Word doc, we cannot always, share a document in real life. It's true that we can comment, but it's really quite little. But we cannot in real life, work together on a document. And this is what you can do on Google Docs, for example. And when we talk about the mail, or again chat, or again even the Meet, these are really tools that permit us to see that the Google Workspace permits us to increase collaboration. The second thing is there is improved communication. Why? Because there's actually that spontaneous, answer or feedback whenever you're working or whenever you're using the Google Workspace or the G Suite, right? Because you can always communicate in real life, whether it's through chat, whether it's through Hangouts, whether it's via Meet. There's always that in real life communication. So there is improved communication thanks to the Google Workspace. The next thing is smarter working, obviously, because if we can be working on a document together in real life, for example, we have what we call IMH doc. We usually use it to communicate, right, during events or some kind of things what we cannot talk in real life, maybe because we are live and we need to talk. And that actually makes us work smarter. The next thing is enhanced security. Why? Because Google makes sure that anybody that has maybe to be transferred a document must have access to it. If you don't have access to a document, you cannot work on that document. You cannot edit that document. You can't do anything on it. So this is one thing. For example, there's some slides, okay, that you can build on the Google site, and you can't share. If the owner of the site hasn't given you permission to download, you cannot even download it. You can't even copy, information on it. There's really enhanced security with the Google Workspace, right? That's good, Paula. I actually advise you to go through each and every of them, right? Sorry about that, Abdul. I think you should actually increase, the quality of the screen. Thanks so much, Nora. She's really doing a great job. So let's move forward and see how Google Workspace increases collaboration. First of all, Google Workspace stores your information in the cloud, enabling you to share documents, files with ease, track changes, comment, edit ideas, and work with colleagues across projects. This is what we talk about increasing collaboration. And then we already have an overview of the tools that can permit us to achieve this particular benefit. Next thing is it permits improved communication. Yes, the tools maintain and improve levels of communication across teams and across businesses. This is a fact. Gmail, Meet, Google Current, and Chat. Those are the 4 major tools. But me, I can go ahead and add more, because the fact that I can talk in real life on a Mod doc with my colleague, I can just text her on Google Doc, oh, please, team, for this session, don't talk this way, talk this way on the document. That already shows a very, very great advantage you get, other than all the 4 major tools that have been listed here. Now, let's continue. The tools equally permit us to work smarter. We collect, we analyze, and turn data into insights. We streamline the workflows and processes, store and manage files, communicate and collaborate via one central system. This is actually, that particular or that peculiar advantage as far as Workspace is concerned. Moreover, we are able to securely store files and data. You can store files and data in the cloud via Google Drive. And you can use the admin console to centralize your administration, manage users, restrict access, set up passwords. In fact, all the everything that you need to do to actually keep your business or keep your work secured and well stocked, you can do that via Google Workspace. Okay, so now let's get into creating your Google Workspace account. Now, Paula, I think this is where you actually start off, right? So when we're creating the Google Workspace account, first of all, the link is workspace.google.com/sign-up/business starter. Workspace.google.com/sign-up/business starter. So that's the first step to creating your Google Workspace there. So Nara is going to drop that link to the chat so that everybody should please just click on it to actually see. Okay. So the second step is to inputting your business name. The third step is adding your contact details. The fourth step is choosing your domain. Fifth step, updating your business address. And then the sixth step is setting up your login details. So this is summarily the six major steps as far as creating your Workspace account is concerned. Now, how do you get set up after you've created the Workspace? First of all, you create your business email, then you add your team members and users, and you migrate your data and import files. So you create your business email. First, secondly, you add your team members, and then you do the migration. So when we're doing the migration, please, it's not physically, yeah? You're not carrying your work from one level to the other. It's just like, okay, you start working on the spare, right? That's what it simply means. At this level, guys, are there any questions? Is there anything that you want me to go back to? We actually looked at the Google Workspace. We looked at the various tools in the Workspace. We looked at the benefits of having Google Workspace. So far, so good. Are there incomprehensions? Is there anything that anybody hasn't understood yet? I'm in the chat section already. Okay. And Zainab says she has no knowledge of cloud. See, Zainab, when we're talking about cloud, don't think that it's something so, it's just to say that sphere that cannot be touched, that sphere that is not the hard drive, it's not the hard drive, that sphere that is not the physical storage. This is what we call the cloud. Okay, so now when you store a document on the Google Drive, if you're using an iPhone, right, and then you have your iCloud, that's what we call the cloud. The fact that it's just stored in a sphere that cannot be physically touched or physically, manipulated. That's what we call the cloud. Okay. I do not know cloud, but enough space. All right. So see, cloud is, like I said, everything that is just done without being tangible. Let me say it that way. It's not the physical hardware storage. If I'm keeping my pictures, for example, in my hard drive, that is not cloud. It's in my hard drive. It's in my computer. It's not in the cloud. It's in my hard drive. But when I store my pictures, for example, on my iCloud, or when I store my pictures on my Google Photos, right, that is the cloud. The cloud is up there. All right, I'm very happy to see that we are understanding and we are moving forward. This is really nice. Please, if any question comes up, feel free to drop the question. Feel free to let me know. I will always come back to the chat to make sure that everybody is clear and everybody understands. So I'm going to dive on to the next section of this session, right? And in the next section, we are actually looking at how to boost communication across our business. Obviously, it's through the use of the various G Suite or the Google Workspace, right? Now, let's start. Which tools can you use? Which tools can you use to boost your workspace? Which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication? So, Zainab, must you save it to the cloud? You must not, but honestly, it's advisable. Do you know why? Because the cloud cannot be destroyed. There is always a way of tracking it. There's always a way of having it back. If I don't have this particular computer I'm using today, but the fact that all my documents were on my Gmail, on my Drive, I can have them back. Okay? The fact that the things, my pictures are in my iCloud, I can always have them back. But if they are in my phone and that phone gets stolen, my God, I'm not sure I'm going to have it back, right? So I would advise you to use it, even though it's not a must. So thank you, Linda. Linda has already answered my question. She says Google Mail. Which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication? That's my question. Which tools? According to everybody. Thanks, Elizabeth, for your comment. According to everybody, which tool can you use to boost communication? Linda has answered, but I'm waiting for more responses, please. Which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication? Drew, I've not seen your response. Adenike, I've not seen your response. Paula, I haven't seen your response. Zainab, even you, I haven't seen your response. Elizabeth, I haven't seen your response. Who again? Do I remember? Okay, please. I'm not seeing responses. Which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communications? Which tools? Which tools? Which tools? Guys, the chat section is so timid. Okay, I'm just going to say that we are all sharing it little by little. Okay, Linda says Google Mail plus chat. But you know, Linda, Google is double O and one J, yeah? And Elizabeth says mail. Paula says, what about email? Yes, Paula, email. Jonas says live chat. Felicity says live chat. Okay, this is really great, and thank you so much for the responses. So I'm just going to say chat because when we're talking about the Google Workspace, we don't have live chat, but we have Google Chat, right? But I know most of us, if not all, we use email, right? Now let us continue. These are the key communication tools. When we're talking about boosting communications across our workspace, these are the key communication tools: mail, meet, current, and then chat. Now let's look at each of these tools one after the other. First of all, Gmail. Gmail permits us to communicate globally with ease using Google's free email tool, Gmail. You send files, you create groups and then mailing lists, and access the integrated calendar in order to stay connected and up to date. Oh my God, calendar is just, you know, the fact that you have reminders. Or see, if you don't use calendars yet, please make sure you do it. Calendar is that tool that you should use all the time whenever you're using your Google Workspace, because when it's incorporated with your mail, it actually permits you to have up to date information when this update is going to actually happen, right? So Gmail and then incorporated with calendar. Let's move forward. We have Meet. Now Meet really took this great proportion due to the COVID-19 crisis and the fact that remote working and online communication became a thing, right? So Meet is actually that platform that permits you to, meet, yeah, or that permits you to communicate or gather yourself together in real life via video conferencing. That permits you to actually chat, share a lot. Meet is not just a meeting functionality and maybe sharing your slide or sharing your information. It's actually, that possibility to separate yourself in groups, working groups. We can all be on a conference call, and then some people have to separate in particular groups. Meet equally has that functionality. We can have the whiteboard functionality. So Meet is actually a very great communication tool, right? Now, fast forward to Current. Current actually engages employees for some more meaningful conversations and stay connected. Current is a bit serious than chat, okay? You work towards a common goal, you build a community, and you ensure that employees can communicate their ideas and receive instant feedback. We use Current more professionally than chat. Why? Because Current actually permit us, to be more professional, if I can say so. Yes, that is it for Current. Yes, Google Hangout. Good. Baja Bulia. Okay, sorry if I mispronounce it, mispronounce your name and everything. Sorry, Zulu. I'll go for Zulu, right? I'm sure that's the name I'll get when I get to South Africa. So yeah, Hangouts, but now chat, mainly chat. Now let's look at chat first thing. Chat is actually the direct messages to group conversation. So we actually move from direct messages to group conversations with Google Chat, okay? And with this, businesses can communicate fluidly and efficiently from anywhere. You can securely connect with anyone you work with and share ideas, files, and tasks with ease. So chat is actually slightly more informal, you get, than current. Current is a little bit more serious. It's actually, you use current when you want in real life, if you want it instant, but chat is then a little bit informal. I'm communicating with a colleague here or there, and then I need to just say, oh, okay, please check your mail. I just left you a message. I want you to do one or two things. All right. So this is chat. Now, what are the top tips you can use to maximize your communication? First of all, you should recreate in-person communication. What we mean by recreate in-person communication is you should try to give it a possibility where we are communicating live. That's why in our businesses, it's advisable to use the video functionality, because that permits us to feel like we are in person. It gives that particular sense of togetherness, that sense of not being, even though we are far from each other, we are communicating. And even in the video communication, it's always advised, like people always advise to put the camera on, because it actually gives that, that sense of belonging, that sense of working together, and it's advisable. Why? Because when we create in-person communication, it actually fosters collaboration, it fosters, it fosters merging, and then it even fosters results. The second thing is we should stay organized. We should stay organized in our communication. Don't say everything at once, but start from one thing, go to the next thing, and then to the next. The third thing is create team mailing lists. This is good too, because it permits you to track, for example, what has been communicated with the team so far, and then it permits you guys to follow up, certain information. So creating team mailing lists. The fourth thing is set up projects or team rooms. All right. So set up project or team rooms. It's important that in the organization or in the business, the team in charge of communication, the team in charge of marketing, the team in charge of tech, they have their particular space where they communicate. It's important so that they can all be equal, or they can all have access to the same information at the same time. Okay. Let's look at deeper. What is it by recreating in-person communication? First thing, added to what I already said, you have the possibility to look at it in this way. Schedule regular team calls, check-ins via Google Meet and Hangouts, okay? Second thing, connect with colleagues and teams across the globe, okay? Third thing, brainstorm ideas on work on team projects, hold virtual events, join some mobile and desktop devices. So it's join everywhere, make it as close as possible, right? So that it doesn't always feel like we are working remotely, but it always feels like we are together, even though we are not physically together. And these activities that can actually make you recreate this. So when we move forward to staying organized, let's see what we can do. Calendar. This is the tool. Improve communication across teams through Google Calendar. Create multiple team calendars, track meetings, track sessions, vacations, and more. There's this place where, we used to work, and then whenever we had a meeting, right, it was scheduled on the calendar. So everybody sees that there is a meeting coming up on this day. So if you want to have a meeting with, let's say, the head of project management, you check the Google Calendar and you say, oh no, he has a meeting this day. You already know he is not going to be available for this day, for this period. It's very important to be able to know when your colleague is available, and calendar was doing that. And then your calendar can equally help, your colleagues know that for now you're on a vacation. You can simply highlight in your calendar and share it with everybody that from this period to this period, I'm on leave. I am not around. So they know that if there are documents on your table, or there are documents that need your attention within this period, they don't have to communicate to you. Calendar tool is one of the tools that we use a lot at Impact Hub. For example, they say the same way you guys set up reminders to make sure the training is on time, the same way I always have the trainings that I have to take set up on my Google Calendar. So that whenever I look at my mail, there's this icon to my right. Yes, when I look at my my mail, to the right, there's this part where I actually put in my Google Calendar that permits me to be connected with it in real life. Like I always know whatever session is up. Like apart from this session today, if I'm indicated in any other session, it's already on my Google Calendar. I have made sure it should be there. It must be highlighted. It should make sure it reminds me, that I have a session to take and things. Calendar is really a very great tool. I would advise you guys to go in for this. Okay, you can actually keep track. You keep track of what you're doing. You keep track of tasks. You know what is up. You know what is up, where it is up. You know that, okay, from this time to this time, I'm working on this. From this time, I'm supposed to be in a meeting at this time, for example, right? So this is what calendar is all about. So now, when we're creating team mailing lists, let's see the tools. The first is create a Google Group email list, okay? Secondly, you send your status updates. 3, you share resources. 4, you increase visibility and foster community. So, like I'm sure most of us have already used that WhatsApp broadcast, okay? It's the same thing. You're just creating a mailing list, a list of people that are in your mailing, right, in your team. You're sending status updates of whatever is happening for all of you guys. You're sharing the resources that you need to work in that mailing list, and then you increase the visibility and then you foster community, right? So this is it about creating team mailing lists. And now the fourth thing, when we're talking about maximizing or the top tips to maximize communication, is set up project or team rooms. See, this is really important. Whatever a team feels, it's not, we can be all together in the organization. But then there is the team. There is the team. There is that particular merging of us, right? So it's important that with your team members, you guys have that particular merging, you have that particular project, or that particular pair that is just for you and your team. Now, let's look deeper. Setting up project or team rooms helps the team members easily stay connected by creating a room in Google Chat or email. It encourages team members to network with each other, share project ideas, exchange thoughts on best practices, and then create storage sense and create a stronger sense of community. So true. When, in my team, I may have an idea what is not necessarily, something that should be shared for the whole organization. It's just for the team, for us to be able to work better. Because we have our project, we have our team room, we have our particular sphere, I can easily say this, I thought about this, and I think that this can actually help us on this sphere, right? So that is that for, setting up project or team rooms. Now, let us continue with a break for your various questions, for your various preoccupations so far. We were looking at boosting communications and, via Google Workspace. We looked at the tools that can help us to effectively communicate. We looked at the tips that could effectively help us communicate effectively and efficiently equally. So now I am open to you guys. Do you have any questions, or do you have anything that you want me to come back on? Do you have any preoccupations or anything that I should mention? Please let me know. Paula said she just downloaded both right now. We navigate them. Oh, Paula, you just made me so glad. I love them to just practice what they're supposed to do. It's important. All these sessions that we are taking, please don't pile this thing up. Don't pile it up like I'm going to learn about it eventually. The moment that I heard about this side, please trust me. I went testing it. I went to make sure that I could already know how to use it, so that if anybody has a question concerning Google Sites, like, I'm ready to answer you because I've tested it. I know it. I've used it. I knew the Google Suite, but there were two things that I did not know: Site and Jamboard. But the moment I got to know about them, I tested them. because I have to make sure that I have clear understanding about this product. So make sure that whenever we talk about them, whenever we talk about anything, make sure to go back, do it, try it, look at them, look through. Oh, what can help me? Apart from the regular Gmail, what can help me? Oh, easy. I feel like giving you Chuck Knuckles there. I like, yeah. Yeah, actually good. Very, very good. Very, very good. This is good to be clear. Root said very. I'm happy this is clear. Oh, Paula, this is nice. I told you this is a particular section that I love. I love it because it's the little things, but then it's the big things, and it's everything in between too. Because you don't know that these are actually big things, but they are the little things that we do, and sometimes we can even neglect. Yeah. Linda, okay, nice, 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 nice. Okay, nice. Thanks for the shares, Ruth. Elizabeth says it's very clear. Mandy says I do use Drive, Google Docs, Calendar is very useful for travel. Spot on, Mandy, spot on. Exactly. Welcome, Bridget. Welcome. Um, okay, Paula. That's right. I'm pretty sure you have your computer, right? So you've used Word. You've used your Microsoft Word. Docs is just the Google version of Word. Okay. But now, what is the difference? First of all, when you use Google Docs, okay, you have the possibility comment on that document in real life with your collaborators. I'm not meaning it must necessarily be shared. You can comment, like both of you can be typing together on the Google Doc. Yes, but it's equally that tool that can make you to, do a document like what your normal Word would do for you. It's equally that Google Docs. And then it permits you do a lot more, to have comments and things like that. What's the value? You can, when you're typing, for example, a letter, when you're typing a letter, you type it on a document, right? But now the good thing is it's online. It's not only offline, it's equally online. And then it can be downloaded, right? Yes, it's important. If you're sending a letter, if you have to do a contract, where will you do it? Are you not going to type it somewhere? You're going to type it on Google Docs. You're going to type it on Google Docs. If you need, for example, let me take you for a more practical example, something really practical. Like I told you guys, I'm a digital marketing strategist. So I work a lot with digital tools, whether it's, building a website or whether it's sharing information concerning maybe a brand strategy or things like that, right? So I have to work in collaboration with a web tech, for example, a web designer, a web somebody. But then sharing documents from my laptop to via email is sometimes lengthy. Not only does it fill the mailbox, but then it's really lengthy. What can we do? I type it on Google Docs and I just share the document with him. He types the comment there or he sees everything. If he does not understand, he's going to type the comment there. And then Google will notify me that he has edited my document. And I'll just simply go and check what edit has he done on it. And I'm seeing it in real life. And I just collab. So we are collaborating on the Google Doc. We don't necessarily need to share it from one computer to the other via email or things like that. You guys are business owners. That means if, for example, you have to work with a third party for your activity and you need a formal type of communication, you need to present something to you build in like a good document, other than maybe just what you do for site, you need to build in a good document. It's easy on Docs. And if the person has comments concerning it, it's equally easy via Docs. Yes, you can use it on your iPhone. But to be able to use it on your iPhone, you would have to download the Google Workspace app. You have to have the G Suite, everything incorporated, not just your mail. You get. So because I still have an iPhone, but then I start using all these things, on my laptop and things. But you can use all of them. All of these things can be used, on your on your phone. If you, for example, create a document via Google Docs on your computer, you can share it to yourself via phone and then use it. Mariam, so when we're talking about cloud, right, we were just saying that cloud is that part of storage whereby everything is stored in the intangible sphere, the sphere that is not touched, the sphere that is not physical, but then it's intangible. Ruth, can first, okay, okay, okay. So, Ruth, when the form is going to be shared, right, and I'm sure it's going to be done in the next minute, you are actually going to be able to fill in the attendance form. And please, everybody should do so. So I hope we are all clear on Google Docs, and I hope we can move on because we still have a last session to cover, and we have to finish that. We have to finish in time, not only on time, but in time, right? Anyways, if there are more questions, please just keep dropping them. I'm really on this comment section that I'm making sure that I don't skip any of your comments. And equally, my moderator, Nora, is here with me, making sure she also assists with your various questions. Okay? Let's continue. Last session, leverage tools to increase collaboration. Now we are looking at the tools that we can leverage on to increase collaboration within the organization. First thing, which tools can you use on the Google Workspace to increase collaboration? Now, please, you guys have to answer this because we spoke about this so much. So according to you guys, which tools can we use or can you use on the Google Workspace to increase collaboration? Which tools? Precious, the pleasure can only be mine. I mean, you're most welcome. Feel free to disturb me with your questions. Okay, thank you, Ju. Ju says Google Meet. Increasing collaboration, she says Google Meet. Any other person? Google Chat, thank you. No. Google Chat. Any other person? Agnes says Google Doc and Google Meet. Yeah. Google Sheet. Yeah. Good one. So you got to increase collaboration via email. Just asking. So you guys don't increase collaboration via email. I just want to know. Hello, Jane. You are most welcome. Google Docs, yeah. Yeah, Menzi. Yeah, you can. You can. But don't ask me. I'm asking you. You should not ask me. Okay, just Kara says Google Docs. Yeah. And I talk about, let's look at those tools together. Let's look at those tools together. Collaborating across projects and teams, right? So when we're leveraging on collaboration, what are the key things? First of all, it permits us to brainstorm ideas. Secondly, we can share working files. Third thing, we can make suggestions and tag colleagues. Fourth thing, we can track changes. We can track all the changes that are being made. See the way I took you guys. Nobody was ready for this. Nobody, right? And the first thing we are looking at here is Jamboard. Nobody saw it coming. So Jamboard, is the whiteboard on Google. You see the whiteboard that you normally have. For example, I'm a fan of writing. I love computers. I love my phone. I love computer. I write a lot on my phone and on my computer. But see, my book is never far away from me. Like, I always have a notebook. I'm a fan of writing. Okay. And even when I have work to do, I like visualizing the work. So I use boards. For example, if I have my goals and objectives, what I want to achieve for the next 5 months, for the rest of this year, I visualize it. I have my whiteboard, I write it on the whiteboard, or I pin it on my dust board. What I call a dust board, it's a board that permits, it's soft, it's not a hard board, but I can pin things. And Jamboard is actually that same thing. It's just that, that whiteboard that permits you to put in your sticky notes. We use it a lot. For example, if we want to show everybody's key takeaways for a session, we put it on Jamboard. So everybody just comes in and fills it a note. It's like we collaborate on it. It's a whiteboard, just it's a whiteboard on the cloud. So Jamboard is a real great tool. And at the end of the day, we see everybody's ideas listed on the Jamboard as if we were having a meeting all together. And then we all use the board to pin our ideas or things like that, or as if you were, that is Jamboard. You get? So you can harness the power of digital whiteboards to share ideas and improve brainstorming sessions. Jamboard is connected to the cloud and enables people in different locations to work together in real time through multiple touch points. So Jamboard is really a great tool. See, I wish this session for longer, where we could do demo to show you guys and things like that. But you guys will have to learn on your own. And I encourage you to go and look at Jamboard. Secondly, the thing we already know, Drive. That is the second tool that we are looking at here, Google Drive. And what is Google Drive? It's our storage. It's our purse. It's our online store. It's our online agenda. It's our online recorder. It's our online everything. It's our online shelf. We store everything there. We store our pictures. We store our calculations. We store our information. We store everything, and Drive is a tool, honestly. When I was still getting into when I was still, becoming the tech savvy that I am today, Drive was one of the major tools that helped me a lot. For example, when I was much more younger and having to do my degree and things like that, I was carrying it on Drive because we cannot be sure in this life. If the laptop gets bad, if something happens to the document, where do I have it? In my Drive, right? So Drive is actually permitting us to store files via Google Drive, enabling you to share working documents, presentations, and sheets with ease. Okay, and this really fosters collaboration. This really fosters, working together. Okay, now the next thing that we're looking at here is making the next thing. Okay, let me look at the chat section quickly. Yeah. Anything video. See, Fatima, anything video needs very, very high speed, anything. Zainab just wants to know how long does it for the bootcamp to respond. See, Zainab, they will attend to you. The thing actually happens in cohorts. When a cohort is everybody needs to be read, like there needs to be a group of people. Okay. Paula, if you've heard about Excel or Microsoft, that calculation spreadsheet, this is what Google Sheets is about. Okay, so attendance form has been dropped. Please, let's fill the form. Emily, I see you ask for the form. Please, everybody, please let's fill the form. It's really important. We need to give you certificates. So let's continue. We can make suggestions and tag colleagues, all right? So every document shared in real time, reduce the need to send files back and forth, and this is a very major good advantage of the cloud. You can suggest changes, comment with ideas, tag colleagues, and increase visibility and boost collaboration. Now, let's look at about tracking changes. The major thing that permits us to track changes is please, can somebody finish my sentence? The major thing that permits us to track changes is, I've spoken about this like throughout this course today. If there's one thing that I've really spoken about, is that particular thing. Please, can somebody help me terminate my sentence? The major tool or the major thing that permits us to track changes in real time is, so nobody is finishing my sentence. So I'm alone on this call. No, I refuse to believe that I'm alone on this call. I refuse it. Paula, what do you think it is? Paula, what do you think it is? Mariam, what do you think it is? Okay, Mariam says me. Another response. Fire me always there, but it's not easy. The major. Lizzie, what do you think it is? Just Kara. Mendy, Ju, please, I'm counting on you. You're the person that has to get this right. And then I'm equally counting on you. Lizzie, Precious, what do you think is the major thing? The major. Linda, amongst all the things that we mentioned, was there tracker? Tell me. It's dogs. It's dogs. Google Docs. I really told you guys how you can collaborate on the document. See, when we're looking at track changes, look at view all edits made through your document and file, restrict access, track changes. It's dogs, right? So this is one good thing about all the G Suites. And we have come to the last stage of questions. If you have now anything that you do not understand from anything, please let me know. So my moderator went ahead to comment. She went ahead to comment as if she's a participant. Dear moderator, you were helping my dear women to do the work. No, that was not your work. So please, before we continue to our next step, please, other questions. Why are we so silent? Why are we so calm? Why are we so quiet? Anyways, while you're sending in your questions, next step, you already know the Free Hustle Academy Bootcamp. Make sure, all right, you sign up for the bootcamp. Make sure you sign up for the bootcamp. I promise you guys, this is a promise I'm making to you. You will learn a lot from the bootcamp, okay? Thank you, Agnes. Thank you so much for at least answering and telling me that there are no questions. So Nora will drop the bootcamp link again in the chat, and that will be only for those that have not registered yet. Those that have not registered yet for the bootcamp, sign up for the bootcamp and continue. She already put it in the chat. So if you want to have more understanding and even get certificated, learn digital with google.com/digital skills/courses is your go-to, right? And then you can find us on social media, facebook.com/digital skills for Africa. Yeah, Joe. Yeah. The link is for the Hustle Academy Bootcamp. She actually dropped 2 links, right? She dropped the Digital Garage for more information if you want to learn more. And the bootcamp is actually, if you want to scale. See, Linda, when we work on this, eventually maybe we'll find a way to make the bootcamp in your country. But it's equally because we need a lot of people to be connected because it has to be in cohort. So for Twitter.com/digital skills for Africa, Instagram.com/digital skills for Africa. Thank you, Ruth. I'm honored. Thank you. And equally, don't forget to follow Impact Her on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are reachable. You can always get to us if you have a preoccupation, if you need follow through, if you need support, and all. Yes, that is it. Those are the 3 major countries for now. But trust me, right? It happens. It's a class. It cannot be for one person. If we're talking about a camp, right, that means many people have to be signed up. Maybe if you're the only person in your country, it'd be a bit difficult to actually have to, train just you. So we're trying to make it popular in those various countries. Because even in my country, it's not available for now. Africa in miniature, a whole Africa in miniature, right? It's not available. So please, for those that haven't filled the attendance form, make sure you do so. And from my heart to yours, it was a pleasure. It was a very big pleasure, right? It was a pleasure to have you guys on this call. I thank you all for your participation. A big shout out to Ju, a big shout out to Paula, a big shout out to Adenike, A big shout out to Linda. Linda. A big shout out to each and every one of you for being on the call, for collaborating with us, for giving us the possibility to train you, for giving us the possibility to serve you. I hope we see very, very, very soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a very, very excellent day ahead. Nice day.